Well, we are at the 22nd Annual Banking and Finance Symposium put on by the University of Mississippi School of Business. And with us in studio is Attorney General Lynn Fitch, who was the speaker this morning at the Women in Finance panel. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Always great to be with you. Thank you for having me, Lucian.
Oh, absolutely. I know between we're 11 days out from the election, is that right?
11 days. I could probably give you a few hours and seconds.
I think people don't realize just what an awesome sort of demand it must be to run one of the most important agencies in the state and simultaneously have a separate full-time job running for office to continue running that agency. So thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, it's such an honor. I have an amazing team that I work with in the Attorney General's office and doing great work every day for the people of Mississippi. So exciting. So all of that has continued to go on, and we've not missed a beat at all because, again, the representation that we do for so many in so many different areas across our state is significant.
Well, it seems like, just as an outsider looking in, you were, notwithstanding what your opponent may say, you certainly seem to be staying extremely busy on the official front in terms of what all you're doing as Attorney General.
We are. You know, there's, again, so many issues that are happening that we need to be engaged in. We are engaged in. We're certainly working with all of our partners and coalitions. You and I've talked about many times over, it's so important to have those relationships, the partnerships with our private sector, with our public agencies, all of the different public arenas as well, our federal partners, state partners. Again, we're stronger when we work together, when we embrace these challenges to become opportunities. That makes a big difference. So, one of the big areas that we've always worked very strong is with our law enforcement. Again, it's a critical time, and in Mississippi, we do an excellent job of backing our law enforcement, but we need to continue to do that on every level. We saw that as certainly an opportunity to work with our law enforcement. We've done training with them, resources, tools. We have a number of task force that are now set up that, again, are significant to the people across the state of Mississippi in a protective way. A cyber fraud task force. Again, almost everyone has been touched by some type of cyber issue, whether it's personally or business or something along that. Yeah, but think about it, because right now, Lucian, it's really hard to police this internet highway. Everything that's going on in these criminals, these cyber criminals, are smart.
They're getting better and better. I mean, I get a phishing email almost every day, where it's supposed to look official and they just need you to click here to confirm your password or whatever else. And used to be you'd get those and you'd look at them and you'd go, well, that's ridiculous. Obviously, nobody's got $100 million for me in an account overseas they need their help with. But now, I mean, they do a great job of making them look like an actual email that comes from your organization. It's frightening how good they've got.
You're exactly right. And we see too many people fall time and time again because it does look so official.
Right.
And they have so much particular knowledge about you, be it the individual or be it the business, that it really makes you come to the conclusion this is a real authentic email or whatever the case might be. So that's been a challenge we've had, and we're really embracing with our partners there. Certainly because we have so many victims, we've created a new special victims unit, again, to be there to support them in all their next steps of their journey, whether it's financial, counseling, issues that we can help them along the way. We run the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Again, too many children are being exploited, not only in our state, but across our country.
And I know you've made a real focus of trying to fight that and fight trafficking, right?
We have, again, trying to be there, rescue these individuals, get them out of harm's way. Human trafficking has been something that we've really embraced, again, with our partners. We've been able to train over 400 law enforcement officers across the state of Mississippi in human trafficking. What does it look like? How do you approach when you do a takedown? We've worked with our DAs to talk about how do you prosecute these human trafficking cases, because they're different than the other cases. We just had our first human trafficking big trial at the end of July.
Wow.
And we were able to get that predator for 25 years.
Good for you.
Hopefully it sends a strong message.
I think people forget sometimes, and I think you do a great job of this, but people forget sometimes that the Attorney General is the chief law enforcement officer of the state, and that, that's been a real. I think you've done a great job in things like that of going after these people who need to go to jail for an awfully long time for bad things.
Well, thank you. And they do. And they shouldn't be harming our Mississippians like that time and time again. We've rescued 300 victims across our state.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, it's slavery. I mean, it's terrifying, this stuff that you read about.
It is. And the sad part about it is over 50% are trafficked by someone that they loved and trusted. And they traffic these, primarily the young girls have been the victims we found. They track them for quick cash and quick drugs.
That's horrific.
And the drugs, Lucian, I mean, they're rampant not only in our country, in our state. I mean, we have an opioid epidemic right now that's going on, certainly.
That's another initiative of yours, right? This One Pill Can Kill effort to try to get the word out about that.
It is, because the drugs are here in our state. It's affecting all of our communities, and certainly to know that those drugs come across that border. I mean, we're all borderless states now, so those drugs are right here in the state of Mississippi within 48 hours. The cartels are running it, and they're making sure that they supply those drugs to all the states, of course. And it's a huge monetary gain for them to be able to do that. So we're working very hard with our law enforcement. The One Pill Can Kill initiative is significant because with the fentanyl, Lucian, I mean, it is so strong and so potent. I mean, oh my goodness, it's much stronger than morphine or heroin. Some of it you can get just on your hands and can be lethal. It can be lethal to our law enforcement officers who are trying to do first. Right? Yeah. So it's something we have to really embrace and make a difference. We lost 237 Mississippians last year alone to a fentanyl overdose.
Just Mississippians, that
Just
many?
Mississippians. It's alarming. Over 100,000 people across the United States died from fentanyl overdose last year.
Do you have a sense of how many of those people started with some sort of legitimate need and it slowly became something else, and how many of them just were already drug users who went something harder?
I think what we're seeing happen primarily is, it's a lot cheaper to lace drugs with fentanyl, so you have everything now being laced with fentanyl.
Really?
The DEA last year alone confiscated all these, different drugs at the border, but the number ended up being 58 million counterfeit pills that were laced with fentanyl.
Goodness.
13,000 pounds of fentanyl powder, and Lucian, that's enough to kill every American.
That's unbelievable.
But the cartels are running the risk. It's like Russian, roulette. They don't care.
Yeah, it's money. They don't care. They don't care if people die in the process.
Yeah, and so you when it's being carved into each one of these pills, you don't know exactly how much is in each one. When we kicked off the One Pill Can Kill initiative, we have drug prevention kits to get people to understand. If you get a pill, test it. We put some fentanyl strips in there so that could be tested. We're so appreciative the legislature passed where the fentanyl strips are no longer deemed drug paraphernalia,
right? Okay.
So we're hoping that will help individuals. They'll test it, but then because it's so strong, we put some drug disposal bags, because if it is fentanyl, you need to get it disposed of properly so that you don't have any intake of it from yourselves. Information about what looks counterfeit, what looks real, things to help them along the way, because if we can just save one life, maybe we don't have 237 next year.
It's extraordinary to think in a state as small as we are. I mean, 2.5 million people, that 237 people died from fentanyl overdoses alone. That really is a mind-boggling statute.
Mm-hmm. And we just can't be passive any longer. We have to step up and go. We're not going to allow this to happen. We've got to really impose those hard laws and the prosecutions for those drug dealers.
Right.
Because, again, they're passing it along and we're losing lives.
Wow.
So it's going to be important that we really embrace this, prosecute hard, put these criminals away, and try to protect lives.
Well, I appreciate all the work you do on that. Also very appreciative of the work you did in the Dobbs case. I don't think I've had you – we've talked about it off the air, but I don't think I've seen you on the air to give you the sort of public congratulations for your good work there. I know a lot of us, yourself included, have been waiting for that day to come.
Well, thank you so much. It's such an honor. Amazing teamwork that went into the Dobbs case. People praying for all of us, lifting us up, being a partner, part of the coalition. Exciting time that Mississippi led the way on the Dobbs case.
You deserve an awful lot of credit for that.
Well, thank you. It was an amazing time for us to be the champion for empowering women and promoting life, and to think that, Mississippi did that and changed the tapestry of the United States forever. And always it was the right thing to get it back to the states and let each state determine how they would implement their laws, what policy they would have. And it's working out just like we thought it would. Every state is very different and is handling their policy making just like they thought they would. would.
Well, we've got about 20 seconds left, General. Any sort of final thoughts before you go on to the rest of your day?
Well, it's great to be here at the Banking Symposium. All these wonderful folks who do an amazing job leading our banking industry, to see them continue to lead the way and to know that they are true role models and mentors for so many people along their journey with the financial banking institution work that they do.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here to speak to the symposium, and thanks for being here on the Gallo Show. I know everybody listening is glad you were able to make the time.
Great. Thank you. Always good to be with you. Thank you so much, Lucian.
Absolutely. It's good to see you, General. Y'all, this has been Attorney General Lynn Fitch here on the Gallo Show. This is Lucian Smith in for Paul on SuperTalk Mississippi. Stick with us for our